Good evening, Caesar. How are you?
Good evening to everyone. I'm fine, thanks. And you?
I'm doing well, thanks for asking. We also have Hugo. Good evening, Hugo. How you doing?
Good evening, teacher. Good evening, everybody. Fine, thank you. And you?
I'm good, thanks for asking. And we also have Nancy. Good evening, Nancy. How you doing?
Good evening, teacher. Very good. Thank you.
Good. And we have David. David told me I'm going to be late, but he's early. Good, good, David. So,
Lo logré.
good. How you doing, David?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Fine, you teacher?
I'm doing well, thanks for asking. We also have Adolfo. Good evening, Adolfo. How you doing?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, teacher. I am fine. I'm okay.
Good. Good. And Cecilia. Good evening, Cecilia. How you doing?
Good evening, teacher. I'm fine. You?
Good. Are you sleepy, Cecilia? What time do you wake up?
Right?
What time do you wake up?
5 a.m.
4.
5 a.m.
At 5.
At 5.
Okay. So we get up at similar time because I get up before 6. So like five and some minutes. But sometimes, well, when I used to go to the academy, because I had to be at the academy at 6 a.m., because I had a class at 6 a.m., I had to wake up at 4:30. So that was tiring. And then I had to take a shower, I had to get ready, then the traffic jam in old San Salvador. So it was really, really difficult. But now I can sleep 1 hour more. So that is something positive for of working from home, because you can sleep probably some minutes more or an hour more if you're working from home. But if you're not working from home, you have to wake up early. Good. We also have Joshua. Good evening, Joshua. How are you doing?
Good evening, teacher. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Good, good. So guys, today we are going to start unit number 2. Well, unit number 2 was about something that we can say that is another topic, as I told you yesterday, that is important too. So at the beginning, like today, you're going to see simple present, just to review a little bit, simple present, but later simple past is coming. So it means that tomorrow, no classes. So we come back on Monday. So no homework this week, except one. That homework will be to memorize verbs. Memorize verbs. How are you going to memorize verbs? In the present and in the past. Why? Because on Monday we start with simple past, and when I say something in the past, you have to understand, because sometimes people don't know the verbs in the past and then they get like confused. But once you know the verbs in the present and the verb in the past, you don't have any problems. So you won't have any homework on this weekend. No homework for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, no homework. But you will have a homework, and that homework is to memorize verbs. So those verbs are going to be in the present and in the past. Now, I don't know how many of you have downloaded the 3 applications that I sent to the group. Who? No one? Have you downloaded the applications that I sent to the group? There was one for vocabulary. Adolfo, good. Nobody else? Only Adolfo. Only Adolfo. Melvin. All right, so we have 2. Only 2 people. And the rest of you? Well, so only 2 people. And Oscar, because he is the one who asked me, hey, can you suggest something because I want to improve? So I told him there are 3 applications that you can use. This, and this. So what you have to do is to download those applications And in those applications, you're going to learn many things. One of them is vocabulary. There is an application that has vocabulary for any kind of thing that you can imagine. If you like transportation, it has vocabulary related to transportation. If you like cooking, it has vocabulary for all the things that you use in the kitchen with pictures, pronunciation, and the word. So you don't have any excuse. No, I don't know vocabulary about cooking. Yes, you have that application, you download the application, and you can see the picture with the object and the pronunciation. So that is one. And if you want to know about parts of the house, you go to the section that says house, and it has vocabulary related to the house. Second floor, first floor, upstairs, downstairs, terrace, backyard, front yard, living room, dining room, and etc. If you want to know about cars, you go to the section where you have cars and you have vocabulary related to cars. So that is how the application is divided. And it is super good because you have the picture, you have the word, and you have the pronunciation. So that is not like a point where you're going to say, no, I don't know how to pronounce it, or I don't know the meaning, because you have the picture. Yes? So that is one. The second one was about listening and reading. There is an application that is called American English Listening or something like that, but it is in the list that I sent you. There are 3 applications. So on that application, you're going to find conversations, and those conversations are like with their script. The script means all the information, like when I show you the conversation between Alice and Danny, and then you see the script over there and you can read it. So same thing you can do with the application. You download the application, you access to it, you have the conversation, and then you can repeat it because there you have the script, so you can repeat what the person is saying. Yes? So that's for your listening and for your reading, because you're listening and at the same time you can read after the person has finished. You can read all the script. Check pronunciation, fluency, and intonation. That is super important. Then the next application, and the number 3, is super important too. And you're going to ask me why. Because if you like grammar, and obviously grammar is used for everything. If you want to speak, you have to know grammar, because if you don't know how to structure, probably you will make more mistakes than if you really know how to structure. When you know what the rule is, it is easy for you to identify the structure and you don't make too many mistakes. But if you don't know the structure, you make mistakes because you don't know the reason why you have to say it like that. So on that application, you have all structures that you can imagine. The present, the past, the future, and they give you the explanation, they give you examples, and I'm not sure if that is the application that has the translation. So it is super easy for you to identify. Yes, and you have some exercises that you can complete. So you have everything in those 3 applications. So especially the number 3 that I was telling you that is related to grammar, you're going to use it in this unit. Why? Because you're going to see simple past, so you have to study. There is another application, and this is called verbos irregulares. So you're going to find it. It is similar to the other application that I sent you. And here you have the list of verbs in the present, the list of verbs in the past, and the past participle. You don't need to memorize the past participle. The only thing that you need is the present and the past. So if you don't know the pronunciation, you only click on the verb that you want to know, and you hear the present, and then you click on the verb in the past, and you hear the pronunciation in the past. So those are the verbs that you have to memorize. And you're going to ask me, which verbs you have to memorize? Well, I suggest that in the simple past, there are 2 kinds of verbs, and you're going to see it on Monday, but I need to tell you right now because I need you to memorize verbs on the weekend. So there are 2 types of verbs, regular and irregular verbs. Regular verbs are the majority of verbs in English are regular. So it means that they are not complicated. You only use ed, and that is the past. But there are some verbs that they are irregular. So it means that they are completely different. For example, go, went. Eat, ate. Yes, so they change the structure. So those are irregular. So what are you going to memorize? Regular verbs that are the majority of verbs, or irregular verbs that they are just a little? Well, you have to memorize irregular verbs. Why? Because they are little verbs, and the rest of the verbs are regular. So when I say little, I want to say few. They are few. There are not many verbs. Let's say that they are just 100, just to give you a number, 100. And regular verbs are 900 verbs. So that means that you have to memorize irregular verbs because they are just few verbs. And then if you don't see the verb that you are having in the evaluation in the list of verbs that you memorized, you know that you only use ed, and that is simple past. So this is what you're going to do on the weekend. Obviously, I'm going to give you more information at the end of the class. Now, let's see who had problem with connection. Melvin. Yeah, Melvin had problem with connection. So we are going to move on to the attendance. As you know, it has to be at the beginning of the class and also at the end of the class. So I'm going to call you one by one, and you have to say present. So I'm going to show you on the screen. Can you see it, guys?
No.
Now?
Yes.
Yes, right now.
Good. So first one, Felix Ernesto Castellanos. Well, he's not here right now, but maybe in some minutes. Next one, Josué El Mundo Ábalos.
Present.
Good. Carlos Eduardo Barrera is not here. That guy, I guess, has to pay the level. Then Cesar Santiago Benavides.
Present.
Good. Cristian Armando Cardona.
Present.
Adolfo Chacón.
Present.
Good. Next one, Cecilia Guadalupe Castro.
Present.
Next one, Nancy Yasmin Claudio.
Present.
Next one, David Ricardo de León.
Present, present.
Good. Next one, Luis Antonio is not here right now, but maybe later. Carolina had problem for the baby, so I guess she's not going to be in class today. Next one, Hugo Ernesto Fonseca.
Present.
Good. Melvin Jonathan is in class, but he has
Present.
a problem with connection. Oh, there he is. Good, Melvin. Next one, Oscar Armando Gomez. He's not here right now, but maybe later. Constantino Guardado.
Present.
Good. Flor is from INSAFORP, and Raul is not here. So we are going to see how this goes before finishing the class. Now, as I was saying at the beginning of the class, we start unit number 2, week number 2. So, David de Leon, and David has only one name. So you have to remember that you need, Cesar, you too. When you enter, you need to have your full name, because we need to send a report, okay, and they need all your name. I guess you can edit it right now just by clicking on the microphone. if I don't make a mistake. There is a way when you click on the microphone and you can edit the name. Nancy, how do you do it yesterday?
En Spanish, en los tres puntitos, rename. Y ahí se cambia.
Okay, so that's what you have to do. So for Cesar, for David, I need your full name. So change it.
Yes, teacher. Is the changing the cell
device.
in computer? Because the cell I don't have a carga.
Charge. Okay,
Charge.
so edit the name like Nancy said it. Repeat it, Nancy.
Okay.
Please.
En los tres puntitos.
Yeah.
Rename. Okay. Yes.
Okay, so like that. Good. So there we have Luis. So I was saying that we are going to start unit number 2 today, and that unit has one important thing, but that important thing is on Monday. So today is just about companies. So we are going to provide information about companies. Obviously here you all work for the same company. So you know all the information about your company. But we are going to work in a different activity with different companies so that you have to provide information. Then on Monday, we have the most important topic that I told you that is simple past. So on Monday, everyone has to be in class. Everyone has to be in class on Monday, and you have to do the homework that I told you. So now let's start with this class. Now let's start with Joshua. Joshua, what does Iron Man do?
Iron Man, I do different activities, but the most frequency is inspect the aircraft.
All right, so that is what you do. But my question is, what does Iron Man do? No, what does Iron Man do?
Yeah, understand. Iron Man make maintenance aircraft.
Exactly, to give maintenance to aircrafts. Good. So
Yes.
that is what the company does. Good. Now, Constantino, what do you do?
I am. I do. I don't know.
What do you do? When the question is, what do you do? That is.
I prepare. Yeah. I prepare.
No.
No.
When the question is, what do you do? It is a short way to say, what do you do for a living? And what do you do for a living? The reduction is, what do you do? And the meaning is, what is your profession?
Okay. I am accounting.
I am an accountant.
I am an accountant.
No accounting, accountant with accountant. Accountant. If you want to say accountant, it's okay. Accountant.
Okay. The correct is accountant.
Accountant. Yes,
Okay.
because accounting is the area.
Okay. I am an accountant.
Exactly. Good. Now, Nancy, what does Constantino do? What does Constantino do?
He is an accountant.
Exactly. He is an accountant. Now, Melvin, What do you do at work? Different question. What do you do at work?
Um, at work is remove and reinstall components.
All right, so I remove and reinstall components.
Remove
I remove and
components.
reinstall components. Good. Now let's see, Hugo, what does Melvin do at work?
He remove and install components.
Okay, but remember that when you talk about one boy or one girl, you need to use the S in the verb. So,
Is he is
no, he is, no, because if you say he is, you're saying el
no
es o el
is
está. The S is
he
in the verb, next to the verb.
okay. He installs and remove components in the
He,
aircraft.
he
Removes,
removes and
reinstalls
reinstalls components.
components.
Good, 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 good. So he removes and reinstalls components. Why do you use the S? Because you're talking about one person. So in the present, you need to use the S when you talk about one person or one object. Yes? Next one. Let's see, Caesar.
Yes.
Do you often attend seminars?
No, I don't.
Why?
I don't know. The most of the time I'm working.
Good. Now, Cecilia, does Caesar attend seminars?
No, he don't attend seminar.
No, you cannot say no, he don't.
Doesn't.
No, he
Exactly.
doesn't.
No, he
Sorry.
doesn't.
No, he doesn't attend seminar.
No, he doesn't attend seminars. Good. Now,
Seminaries.
Christian. Good. Christian, do you usually break the ice in a conversation?
Can you repeat, please?
Do you usually break the ice in a conversation?
Break the ice.
Yes, break the ice.
Uh, what do you mean? What do you mean break the ice?
Break the ice means romper el hielo. Do you break the ice in a conversation?
Uh, no, I don't.
Why?
Uh, uh, I don't have a lot conversation usually.
Okay, good point. Now, Adolfo, does Christian usually break the ice in a conversation?
No, no, he doesn't break ice at the conversation because
Break the
no
ice in a
break
conversation.
break the ice in the conversation.
Good. Next one, Felix. Um, do you like to have conversation with strangers? Do you like to have conversations with strangers? Strangers means people that you don't know. Do you like to have conversations with strangers? Felix?
Sorry, sorry. The signal. Repeat, please, teacher.
Do you like to have conversations with strangers? A stranger means people that you don't know. Do you like to have conversations with strangers, Felix?
No, I doesn't like conversation with strangers.
Okay, now one thing. Just remember that when you say doesn't is for one man that is not you. Yes? Doesn't
Sorry,
is for a woman
no,
that
no.
is
Okay.
doesn't.
The problem,
Mhm.
no, no, listen, question.
You didn't listen to
Sorry.
my question. Okay, once again. Do you like
Okay.
to have conversations with strangers? Strangers are people that you don't know. Like when you travel by bus and then you have a person next to you and then you start talking. So do you like to have conversations with strangers?
No, I like,
No, I.
no, I, no, I like
No,
conversation.
you cannot say no, I like.
I'm confused. Sorry.
Okay. When the question is do you work? Yes, I do, or no, I don't. Do you play? Yes, I do, or no, I don't. Yes, or the long answer, yes, I play, no, I don't play. Yes, I go, no, I don't go. Doesn't is when you say he doesn't, or when I say Louis doesn't. When you say she doesn't, or Cecilia doesn't. So in those cases, you're going to use doesn't, and don't is for I, we, you, and they. So once again, do you like to have conversations with strangers?
No, I don't.
Why?
And no, um, no, I know um, I know safety the other person.
I don't know the other person. I don't, siempre que usted quiere decir yo no trabajo, yo no estudio, yo no entiendo, yo no sé. So I don't know, I don't work, I don't study, I don't play. So in your case, you're saying I don't know the other person. Yes, you are right. That's why you don't like having conversation with strangers, because you don't know the other person. Good. Now, Luis, does does Felix like to have conversations with strangers?
No, he doesn't,
Why?
because he doesn't know another.
Good, because he doesn't know the other people. Yes? So Luis said, no, he doesn't. He doesn't, because my question is, does Felix? No, he doesn't. Yes? Next one, Cecilia.
Yes.
Do you attend meetings very often?
Yes, yes, attend meeting very often.
How often do you attend meetings in a month, for example? How often do you attend meetings in a month?
Mm, every day.
Do you attend meetings every day?
Yes, because my supervisors every morning.
So you have meetings every morning.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. This is the first time that I hear that someone has a meeting every morning.
it- ¿Cómo se dice? Reuniones cortas, 5, 6 minutos.
Short meetings, or you can say a brief.
Short meetings. Brief short meetings.
Okay, good. Now, David, does Cecilia attend meetings very often?
Yes. Cecilia, you usually a short meeting.
Cecilia usually what?
Usually, usually
Attend.
meeting. No,
Attends.
usually
Because
attends.
if you're saying usually is Cecilia usualmente reuniones. No, right?
Oh
Cecilia
yeah,
usualmente atiende o llega o asiste.
attend. Oh yeah,
Yes.
a
Cecilia
short
usually.
meeting.
Okay,
At-
good.
Cecilia is usually attend a short meeting.
Attends.
Attends.
Recuérdense que le tienen que poner la S al final del verbo cuando ustedes están hablando de un hombre o de una mujer, que no está, usted no está hablando con esa persona, sino que alguien más.
Yes, yes.
Next one, Oscar, good evening.
Good evening. How are you, teacher?
I'm doing well, what about you?
I'm okay. I have a problem with my internet.
Yes, but now you have, good.
Yeah. I call a Claro.
You,
Too Claro.
you call Claro.
Yeah.
Okay, good, 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 good. So good for you because they fix your internet problem. Now, Oscar, do you socialize with your coworkers?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Uh, because all day, how do you say, comparto?
Sure.
All day share with my partners.
Okay, all days share who? ¿Quién comparte?
Me with my partners.
Okay, so you need to say I share with my.
Okay.
Ujú. Primero va el
I
sujeto.
share with my partners.
Exactly. Primero va el sujeto porque si no pone sujeto no sabemos de quién está hablando. So I share
Yeah.
time or spend time with my partners. Good. So the question is for Joshua. Joshua, does Oscar socialize with his coworkers?
Yes, he does.
Why?
Because he every day and every day church
Yes.
with a coworker.
Shares with his coworkers. Okay.
Where his coworker.
Or you can say spends time with his coworkers.
Okay. Spend time with his coworker.
Good, good, good. So all those questions that I was asking you, they were like do, or does. Why? Because this is what you use when you want to talk about present actions. And this is what you have over here. So this is a conversation between Rick and Jack. So I'm going to read it for you. Take some notes about vocabulary that you don't know or pronunciation of the words because then you're going to role play it. This time I'm going to choose only 3 people that are going to role play it with other 3 people. So in total, 6 people only. Now let's see. It says, my name is Rick. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. I'm Jack. I work for NX Inc. What does NX Inc. do, Jack? We manufacture cardboard boxes for packaging companies. Oh, I see. Does Inex have many branches? Yes, it does. We have 3 manufacturing branches in the country. And where are the headquarters? They're in Panama. They're in Panama. Once again, my name is Rick. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. I'm Jack. I work for Inex Inc. What does Inex Inc. do, Jack? We manufacture cardboard boxes for packaging companies. Oh, I see. Does Inex have many branches? Yes, it does. We have 3 manufacturing branches in the country. And where are the headquarters? They're in Panama. So now, do you have any questions about vocabulary, like the meaning of the words or pronunciation?
Yes, teacher.
Cardboard.
Cardboard. Cardboard means cartón.
Head.
So when you say cardboard boxes, you're saying cajas de cartón, cardboard boxes. What do you say, David?
Headquarters.
Perfect. Headquarter is like, for example, I don't know if Ironman has headquarter, well, where the headquarter is, but I can tell you about Speak. If Speak is in San Salvador in Escalón, and Speak is in Santa Tecla, and Speak is in, let's say, San Martin, and Speak is also in San Benito. So the headquarter of Speak is in Escalón, but San Martin, Santa Tecla, and what is the other one? I forgot. San Benito are branches. So the headquarter is the main office. And the branches are like the little parts of the company. It's like La Curazao.
Filiales. Como la casa matriz.
Exactly. Headquarter.
Principal.
Exactly, the main office, la matriz, como Joshua said. Headquarter is la casa matriz, la oficina principal. And branches son las sucursales, branches. So my question is, does Ironman has branches? Does Ironman have branches, guys?
No.
No.
No. Yes, yes, he does.
Yes.
Where are
Solution.
So,
Miami.
Miami.
But
so
this is holding, not Ironman.
Exactly.
Solution.
It has to be the same company with the same name. For example, La Curazao.
It's the same, but the name is no is same.
So it's different.
Yeah,
It's different
different.
because when you say branches, it means that you will see the same name in one country and in another country. Like, for example, if I tell you, let's see, which company? Pollo Campero.
McDonald's.
Or McDonald's, that's another good example. Or Pollo Campero. So you have Pollo Campero in different countries. But probably in one country, you have the headquarters, which means that is the main company, the main office. So that is the headquarters, the main office. And the other branches are probably in other departments, in other cities, or in other countries. Yes? So that's a difference. And you know the Pollo Campero is in the United States. Pollo Campero is in Guatemala. So I don't know if Pollo Campero is from El Salvador or from Guatemala. But if Pollo Campero is from El Salvador, the headquarters is in El Salvador. And the branches are in, probably the headquarters is in San Salvador. And the branches are in Soyapango, Apopa, Mexicano, San Martín, Ilopango, Cojutepeque, Antiguo Cuscatlán, Santa Tecla. So in all the cities. So those are branches.
Son franquicias.
No.
No.
Sucursales.
Solo sucursales, sí, sucursales.
Exactly. So those are branches. Franquicia es diferente. Franquicia es que usted, usted
sí, es como si
vende
todos los derechos.
Exacto. Usted vende el producto, pero no es su empresa. That is the difference. Good. So, headquarter is la casa principal, la casa matriz o la oficina principal. And branches, las sucursales. Yes? And branches, for you to remember that word, remember that when you have a tree, you have branches. So, branches son las ramas de los árboles también. Entonces, de eso se tienen que acordar. Branches, different places. And the headquarter, head, only one, big. So headquarter, and the other one, you can say like branches. Good. So
Teacher,
another word,
packaging.
packaging, empacadora, packaging companies, compañías empacadoras. Another one, pronunciation or the meaning of the words, Felix? No?
No, teacher.
All right, so Felix is going to be Rick, and Caesar is going to be Jack.
My name is Rick. Nice to meet you.
Sorry. Nice to meet you too. I'm Jack. I work for Inex.
What does INC do, Jack?
We manufacture cardboard boxes for packaging companies.
Oh, I see. Does INC have many branches?
Yes, it does. We have 3 manufacturing branches in the country.
And where are the headquarters?
They are in Panama.
Good. So just the pronunciation, branch is one, branches plural. The other one is not INC, it is ink. INES or INEX ink. Yes? Next one, Cecilia is going to be Rick, and Christian is going to be Jack.
My name is Rick. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I am Jack. I work for Enix Inc.
What does Inex in do, Jack?
We manufacture cardboard boxes for packaging companies.
Oh, I see. Does Inex have many branches?
Yes, it does. We have 3 manufacturing branches in the country.
Where are the headquarters?
They are in Panama.
Good, good pronunciation. Good. And the last one, we have Nancy is going to be Rick, and Joshua is going to be Jack.
My name is Rick. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm Jack. I work for Inex Inc.
What does Inex Inc. do, Jack?
We manufacture cardboard box for packing companies.
Sorry. I was touching the mouse and then suddenly, bloom. So my bad. Once again, start.
Okay.
Okay.
My name is Rick. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm Jack. I work for Inex Inc.
What does Inex Inc. do, Jack?
We manufacture cardboard boxes for packing companies.
Oh, I see. Does Inex have many branches?
Yes, it does. We have three manufacturing branches in the country.
And where are the headquarters?
They're in Panama.
Good, 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 good. So this is the way that you ask information about companies. And at the beginning of the class, I asked Cesar, I guess, what does Aeroman do? And then you were describing what the company does. So this is something that you can ask to your classmates too. Now, here we have what kind of companies we can talk about. We can talk about banks. Yes, you know what banks are. Give me names of banks here in El Salvador.
Agrícola.
Good,
City,
good,
La vivienda.
good,
Azul.
good,
Hipotecario,
good,
Cotlán.
good.
Banco Azul,
Yes, Luis said that. Good,
el Banco Azteca,
good. So as you can see,
Atlántida.
yes, that's another. That's a new one because before it was
Mexico.
what was it?
It's the Mexico. It's from Mexico.
No, but before it had another name,
ProCredit.
ProCredit. But it had another name. So as you can see, we have many banks. Yes, those are banks. Now we have companies that produce or that we call soft drinks companies. Give me names of soft drinks companies.
La Constancia.
La Constancia. But La Constancia produces different brands, marcas. For example,
Coca-Cola.
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 Pilsener. Golden.
Oh,
Tropical.
Tropical, good.
Fanta.
Fanta, good. So all those companies are soft drinks companies. Good. Next one, guided tours. Guided tours, companies that offer guided tours here in El Salvador. No one.
Maybe Amate Travel?
Amate Travel,
Yeah.
good.
Línea,
Come again, Hugo?
línea ejecutiva.
Good. Línea ejecutiva. Another one?
Soltero se llamaba.
Soltero, what is that? That is,
Sí, ya,
that
ya.
is,
Yeah.
that is not a company.
Yeah.
That was an
I,
organization to meet people, probably. Okay.
no.
Hay que ir,
But,
hay que ir.
but Amate Travels, yes. Línea Ejecutiva, yes. You have Toro Ghost Tours. You have, let me see, another one that I remember.
Pullman Tour,
Aventureros Tour. Sorry, Joshua?
Pullman Tour,
Pullman Tour. So you have different companies that offer guided tours. It means tours guiados. Next one, cardboard boxes. Companies that produce in El Salvador cardboard boxes. Do you know?
Cajas y bolsas.
Exactly. Cajas y bolsas. Good. Now,
Caixa.
which one, Cecilia?
Maybe Caixa. Caixa, creo que sí.
Caixas.
Ujú.
Okay, good. So you have companies that produce cardboard boxes. You also have buildings. Do you know what buildings are?
Construcciones.
Construcciones.
Give me examples of buildings.
Edificios.
Exactly. Edificios. Examples of buildings?
Construmarket.
Yes.
Grupo Roble.
Yes, those are companies that work in the
Bolívar.
area. Good. So those are companies that work on this area, buildings. Then mobile phones companies or service that they provide. Mobile phones,
Ego.
Yeah.
Tigo,
Claro, Tigo,
Claro,
Movistar.
Movistar,
Diesel.
Digicel.
Digicel.
I guess they are the four common ones. Next one, medicine. Companies related to medicine.
Bayer.
Laboratorios López.
Taimed.
When we talk about medicine, we can talk about laboratories, as you're saying, labs. We can talk about drugstores, and we can talk about clinics probably, because they are like companies related to medicine. Good. Now, car components. Companies?
Excel Automotriz.
Good.
Impresa Repuesto.
Good.
Empresa de repuestos.
Good, Christian.
Super repuesto.
Super repuestos. Adolfo, what do you say?
Part
Plus.
Part plus.
Econoparts.
Econoparts. Good. So you have different places where you can buy car components. Now, number 9, hair salon services. Hair salon services.
Lisa Salon.
Which one?
Amanda Salón.
Amanda Salon. Good.
Fashion.
Elisa Salon.
Elisa
Tito
Salon.
Barbershop.
Tito's Barbershop. Melvin, what do you say?
Fashion.
Fashion.
Fashion salon.
Where is fashion salon?
El que visita.
Vidal.
Okay, so Vidal's and the rest. So all those are hair salons, yes? And you get a haircut, you get I don't know, a massage, or you get your nails done, or makeup, and like that. Good. And it was curious because all men said beauty salons and hair salon. And Nancy and Cecilia didn't say anything. It was curious. Number 10, clothes. Companies related to clothes. We can say like
Saint-Jack.
Luis?
Saint-Jack.
Saint-Jack. Another one?
Siman.
Siman. Speed limit. Caesar? Carry on.
Shopping center.
Shopping center. Good, good.
Yeah.
Buena ropa.
So you have different places where you can buy
Bajemese.
different places where you can buy clothes, even downtown. You can go downtown too. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Here you're going to match the product or the service to the corresponding industry type. So we were talking about banks. We were talking about soft drinks. So those are products or service. Now we are going to put them into the corresponding industry type. What kind of industry type? The first one, Oscar, can you read it?
Sorry, repeat, please.
Read the first one, letter A.
Oh, okay. Banks is...
No. Just read the letter A, like the letter A option. The beauty, the first industry.
The beauty and personal care industry.
So you have the beauty and personal care industry, and you have to identify if when you say the beauty and personal care industry, which product or service is in that industry. Banks, soft drinks, gas stores, Cardboard boxes, buildings, mobile phones, medicine, car components, hair salon services, or clothes. What is in that category, guys?
The hair salon service.
Hair salon
Hair
service.
salon service.
Exactly, hair salon services. So you're going to put the number 9 next to the beauty and personal care industry. Number 2, we have the construction industry, textile industry,
Building.
telecommunications industry, finance
Weldings.
industry, automotive industry, packaging industry, beverage industry, tourism industry, and pharmaceutical industry. Now, what are you going to do? Put the number of the product or the service next to the industry. So I'm going to give you exactly 3 minutes. 3 minutes to match the service or the products with the type of industry. So you can start right now, 3 minutes.
Elpa.
Someone has the microphone on and the bread, the baker is going over there. One minute. All right, let's see the answers. So we said that number 1, that was the beauty and personal care industry was related to hair salon services. Now, what about construction industry, Luis?
Construction industry. Building. Number 5.
Exactly. So when we say buildings, we are talking about the construction industry. Good. Next one, Constantino, the textile industry. Tell me a product or a service.
The textile industry is the nightclub.
Number 10.
10.
Exactly.
10, yeah.
Number 10, clothes.
Clothes.
Good. So when you talk about clothes, you are talking about textile industry. Good. Next one, Joshua, the telecommunications industry.
Is mobile phone.
Mobile
Mobile
phones.
mobile phones.
Good. So when we talk about mobile phones, we are talking about the telecommunications industry. Good. Next one, Oscar, the finance industry.
In the banks.
Exactly. So when we hear the word banks, we know that we are talking about the finance industry. Caesar, the automotive industry.
The 3. Number 8, car component.
Exactly. Number 8, car components. Car components. Good. Next one, Christian. It says packaging industry.
It's number 4, cardboard boxes.
Cardboard boxes. Exactly. When you talk about cardboard boxes, it is like if you're talking about the packaging industry, or this is related to the packaging industry. Next one, Melvin, the beverage industry.
Number 2, soft drinks.
Exactly. So when you talk about beverage, beverage is drinks. So beverage industry. Good. Now, Adolfo, the tourism industry.
The number 3.
Can you read it?
The number 3, guided tours.
Exactly. We are talking about guided tours, guided tours. And the last one, the pharmaceutical industry. Melvin?
Number 7, medicine.
Exactly, we are talking about medicine. Um, so this is the way that you do it, to relate to the industries. Now, I just want to cover next part because on Monday, I just want to take some time for simple past because simple past is important and it is long. So we will need some time. So I need to cover just this part, which is related when you meet someone. So you can ask this kind of questions. You have misstate. So here we don't know if the woman is married or not because it says misstate. And you have Mr. John. Hello, good morning. Are you Mr. John? Yes, I am. Here, the person is not saying, yes, I do, because the question is not with do. The question is, are you? Are you Felix? Yes, I am. And like that. So are you Mr. John? Yes, I am. I'm Miss Tate. I'm the trainer. Nice to meet you. Hello, nice to meet you. Miss Tate, let me introduce the staff. Let me introduce the staff. This is Mario. He's the branch manager, and this is Leo. Welcome. Nice to meet you. Nice meeting you, Mario. Nice to meet you, Leo. What do you do? Nice to meet you. I'm in charge of the kitchen staff. Great. Oh, Mr. John, what does the girl over there do? What does the girl over there do? So in that case, you're asking, ¿qué hace la chica de allá? What does the girl over there do? ¿Qué hace la chica de allá o la que está por allá? Next one. You say, she's Nisa. She's in charge of purchases. Purchases means compras. Yes, she's in charge of purchases. Now, if you go to the conversation and you have any questions about vocabulary, you can ask me right now. So, any questions, guys?
I have a question.
Yes.
In the last part,
Mm-hmm.
she is in charge of purchases.
Purchases. Exactly.
Why is the reason the noise verb? Gerundios. Gerundios.
Good question. Good question. Because remember that you use the gerund only when you want to express a verb or an action. She's in charge of buying. She's in charge of taking. She's in charge of reading, collecting, supervising, because those are verbs. But in this case, purchase is not a verb. This is just a noun. Aquí no es un verbo, es solamente un nombre. Está diciendo encargado de las compras. Es como si yo le dijera encargado de el restaurante. Entonces, en ese caso, restaurante no va a llevar ing, porque el ing es solamente cuando tienen un verbo, cuando ustedes quieren describir una acción. Encargado de comprar, encargado de llevar. Ahí se va a ocupar in charge of taking, in charge of buying, in charge of paying. Pero cuando tiene un nombre, encargado de mi hermana, ahí no, ¿verdad? In charge of my sister. I'm in charge of this house. I'm in charge of the company. I'm in charge of the restaurant. I'm in charge of the kitchen. So in that case, you're talking about something, not about an action. So that makes a difference. Yes, Joshua?
Sí, es que yo le había entendido que después de la expresión in charge of siempre tenía que ir un verbo en gerundio.
Exacto.
Y por eso se me hizo raro, pero se puede usar de las dos formas.
Sí,
el verbo, gerundio y una parte. Porque yo pensé que después de esa expresión, por ley, tenía que ir un verbo en gerundio. Eso se me hizo.
Ajá. Buena pregunta, porque cuando usted dice in charge of, se recuerda de in charge of working, in charge of paying, in charge of that. Sí, cuando tiene una acción encargado de hacer algo, de qué actividad usted está encargado, siempre va a llevar el gerundio. In charge of working, what happened. In charge of playing, in charge of reading, and like that. So you...
Se activó.
Sorry?
Se activó, lo siento, se activó.
Okay. So in charge of and then the gerund. Now.
Is only nouns?
No, you can use verbs. Verbs or nouns.
Purchase, how do you say purchase?
Purchases.
Purchases is a noun only.
Purchases is a noun. It can be a verb, but if it is a verb, you don't say purchases. You say only purchase.
Okay. Okay.
So you say she's in charge of purchases. So in this case, purchases is compras, encargado de las compras. Si usted quiere decir encargada de comprar, usted va a decir she is in charge of buying or she's in charge of purchasing. Pero en ese caso va a ser el verbo. En este caso usted está describiendo un nombre de las compras. Purchase que puede ser un verbo y puede ser un nombre. Así como water. Water puede ser un nombre, que eso es líquido. También puede ser el verbo regar. Entonces hay palabras que pueden ser un verbo y pueden ser al mismo tiempo una palabra normal. O como que yo le diga book. Book significa libro, como un nombre. Pero como un verbo es agendar o hacer reservación. I want to book a flight. Quiero reservar un vuelo, quiero agendar un vuelo. I want to book a flight. Entonces, una palabra puede tener dos significados. En este caso, purchase Si solo es purchase, es el verbo, pero como tiene purchases, está diciendo compras. Yes? Es como si dijera, está encargada de la cocina. She's in charge of the kitchen. Entonces, en ese caso, no necesita poner gerundio, solo el noun. Ya, si tiene una acción y usted quiere decir, ella está encargada de limpiar la cocina, ahí ya tiene una acción. Entonces, ahí se va a llevar el gerund. She's in charge of cleaning the kitchen. Si tiene una acción, se lleva el gerund. Si no tiene acción, no se pone el gerund, solo el noun. Yes? Luis, do you have a question?
No, 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 no.
All right. So this is how you do it, guys. After of, you can have a gerund, but in this case, you don't have a gerund. You only have an area, in charge of the area. Yes? Good. Another question?
Yeah, teacher,
Yes?
what's the meaning of branch manager? Teacher, your microphone.
Oops. So, branch manager es el encargado o el jefe de la sucursal. Branch, sucursal. Manager, so branch
Okay,
manager.
thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Another one? No more? All right. So in this case, we are going to have, let's see, people who haven't participated. David is going to be Mr. John. And Felix is going to be Miss Tate.
Hello, good morning. Are you Mr. John?
Yes, I am.
I am Steve. I am the trainer. Nice to meet you.
Hello, nice to meet you too. But hello, nice to meet you, Mr. Tay. Let's me introduction the staff. This is Mario. He branch manager, and this is Leo.
Welcome. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Mario. Nice to meet you, Leo. What do you do? Nice
Uh,
to meet.
Yes, you have to be, let me see, Mario. It's like Mario.
Here.
Mhm.
Okay. Nice to meet you too. I'm in charge of the kitchen staff.
Great. Mr. John, what does he girl over there do?
She is charge of purchase.
She's in charge of. He
She
is or
is
she
in
is
charge
in
of.
charge of. She is in
In
charge
charge
of.
of.
Good. So as you can see, this is the way that you ask for information about one person. In the previous conversation, you were asking for information about the company. Here, you're asking for information about a person. Yes? So as you can see, they are using the same thing. They are using do, they are using does. Why do they use do and does? Because they are just describing something like a routine. So before we start simple past, you really need to know how to use simple present, because we cannot go to simple past if you don't know how to use simple present. Now, look at the words in bolds. In bolds means that they are really dark, and complete the statements in the boxes. What do you do? And then what departments do you supervise? What branch does she manage? Where does your company manufacture? What unit do you oversee? Oversee is prever. Who do you report to? And here we have to ask information, and this question is going to be for a person who hasn't participated. Let's see. This question will be for Cecilia. Oh, she has participated, but we're going to ask her. Cecilia, to ask information questions means like, where do you work, what do you do, and like that. Where, when, who, and the rest. So when you ask information questions in the simple present tense, you begin with what? There you have two options. You begin with WH or with the subject.
WH.
Exactly. You start with WH. You always say where, what, who, when, and like that. And then that WH word, that is what, when, where, who, and the rest, Hugo, when, what, who, where, and the rest is followed by what? By do or does or by the subject? What is after when, what, who, and the rest?
Sometimes is the verb, sometimes the subject. For me, it's the subject.
In a question. Can you see the examples that you have from number 1 to number 6? What is after the WH question? After the word what, where, who, when, what do you use? Do or does, or you use the subject I, he, she, it, we, you, they?
For example, in maybe the number 3, what branch does she manage?
Good. Good. So probably, as you're saying, you may have a noun, or you may have the subject, as you're saying. But do you think that branch is the subject? When you say, what branch does she manage? Do you think that branch is a subject?
Yes.
No. The subject is she. The subject is she. You have, does she manage? So the subject is she. So you're going to ask me what branch is. Branch is just a word. It is a noun, but it's not the subject in this question. The subject is after do. And after what, you can have a noun. Like, what color do you prefer when you are giving options? Yes? But with the rest of words like where, who, you always use do or does. You always use do or does. Like, where do you live? What do you do? When do you study? Why do you study? And like that. So in that case, it is, you use the WH word, what, where, when, and the rest, and then you use do or does. Obviously, do is for I, we, you, and they. And does is for he, for she, and for it. So if you are talking about Cecilia and you want to ask about Cecilia, you're not going to say, what do Cecilia do? What do Cecilia do? Because Cecilia is she. So you need to say does. So what does Cecilia do? Where does Cecilia work? And like that. Yes? Next one.
Okay.
Good. Felix. So you're going to use the WH, then you're going to use do or does, and then what do you use? Do you use the verb or the subject?
The subject.
Then you use the subject. You use do or does, and then the subject. I, he, she, it, we, you, they. And finally, Luis, what do you use? Do you use the verb in the base form, or you have to use the s or es in the verb, if it is a question?
And which one, teacher?
In a question, you start with the WH word, when, what, who, and the rest. Then you need to use do or does. Then you use the subject. And then what do you use at the end?
Yeah, sorry, but I don't understand.
Okay, next person. Oscar, what do you use at the end? The base form of the verb, or you need to use S or ES?
For the, sorry, repeat please.
At the end of the question, what do you use? Do you use the verb in the base form, el verbo en la forma base, o ocupa el verbo con S o con ES? ¿Qué ocupa en una pregunta?
Verbo en forma base.
Exactly. So you use the base form of the verb in any other phrase. So in questions, you will never use the S. No matter if you're saying he, she, or it, but you don't use the S. Never in questions. The S is only in positive long sentences or long answers. That is the only way where you're going to use the S. You don't use the S in question. Why not? Because you're using does. You don't use the S in negative. Why not? Because you're saying doesn't. So the S in the verb is only for positive sentences. So now let's see if it is true that you understood. Now, Louis, turn on the camera, please. And it says, write the questions that correspond to the answer that follow. You're going to use the verb that you have in parentheses to help you or to guide you to create the question. So you only have the answer. You need to create the question. For example, it says, Martha manages the sales department. Martha manages the sales department. So the question is, what department does Martha manage? Because you have to use the verb manage in the question. So the answer is Martha manages the sales department. What is the question? What department does Martha manage? Now, number two. Number two, in the answer, Louis, you have I supervise the maintenance department. I supervise the maintenance department. What is the question? You have to use the verb supervise in the question.
What department?
What department?
What department do you supervise?
Exactly. What department do you supervise? What department do you supervise? And the person says, I supervise the maintenance department. Next one, Felix. Claudio oversees the branch in Ilopango. Claudio oversees the branch in Ilopango. What is the question?
When
You cannot
Claudio,
say, no, you cannot say when. Si usted dice when, está diciendo cuándo. Y mira la respuesta de lo que le está diciendo. Claudio oversees the branch in Ilopango.
where
Where? Because you have a place.
where do you branch?
No, it's not do you, it's not do you. No está hablando de tú, está hablando de Claudio.
Where does
Claudio
branch?
No, está hablando de Claudio. Claudio es el sujeto, entonces Claudio tiene que ir en la pregunta.
Where Claudio?
No, primero va el auxiliar. Vaya, necesito que me pongan atención. La estructura es, primero van a poner what, where, who y lo que quieran poner. Después van a poner el auxiliar que es do or does. Después van a poner el sujeto que es I, he, she, it, we, you or they. Y al final ponen cualquier verbo. What do you eat? What do you study? What do you play? What do you cook? Where do you live? Where do you study? Where do you go? Where do you clean? Who do you live with? When do you study? When do you play tennis? Why do you study? So, first, WH question. Si usted quiere preguntar qué caricatura, ahí sí puede decir what cartoon. Y luego, do you. Pero siempre va el do o el does y después va el sujeto. So, Felix, number 3 says, Claudio oversees, y ese es el verbo oversees, y ese es el verbo que usted tiene que ocupar en la pregunta, por eso se lo ponen en paréntesis también. Claudio oversees the branch in Ilopango. Ahí tiene dos opciones para hacer esa pregunta. Imagínese en español, si yo le pregunto, Claudio prevé la sucursal en Ilopango. Entonces, ¿qué me pregunta usted?
Where does Claudio over
Where
branch?
Perfect. That is the question. Where does Claudio oversee the branch? And the answer, oh, Claudio oversees the branch in Ilopango. That is one possibility. Another possibility, guys, who has the second possibility or second option?
Where the branch does Claudio oversee?
No. Ahí sí ya no. Where branch está diciendo dónde sucursal.
Oh.
Where is the location of the...
No, porque ahí ya no ocupó ni do ni das. Y tiene que ocupar el verbo oversee. Melvin está cerca, pero no me tiene que decir where. No dice dónde sucursal.
What?
Exactly.
The...
What branch?
What branch?
¿Cuál sucursal? What branch? What branch, Melvin?
Does Claudio oversee?
Perfect. What branch does Claudio oversee? What branch does Claudio oversee? Claudio oversees the branch in Ilopango. So you have the two options. Where does Claudio oversee the branch? Is one possibility that Felix said. The second option, what branch does Claudio oversee? What branch does Claudio oversee? Claudio oversees the branch in Ilopango. Next one, Christian. It says, the assemblers report to the supervisor. And in the question, you need to use report to.
Okay, try. The assemblers report to supervisors.
Yes, that is a sentence. The assemblers report to the supervisor. Now, the question, what is the question to this answer?
Okay.
You can see the examples that you have from number 1 to number 6.
Who does the assemblers report to?
Close. Assemblers, singular or plural?
Plural.
So you cannot say does, because does is for he,
Do.
for she, and for it. Exactly. You say do because do is for they. Can you repeat it?
Who do the assemblers report to?
Exactly. Who do the assemblers report to? Good. And the answer, the assemblers report to the supervisor. Good. Next one. Let's see, Constantino. The answer says, we manufacture in the Santa Ana plant. We manufacture in the Santa Ana plant.
Where does your company manufacture?
Probably, where does your company manufacture? Where does your company manufacture? That is one possibility. Another possibility, because the answer says we manufacture in Santa Ana plant. What is another possibility, guys? Nancy, another possibility?
I don't know.
Another person who can say another possibility? Joshua? Caesar?
Where does manufacture? Where does manufacture?
No puede decir das no puede decir das y después manufacture. Después de do, después de das siempre va el sujeto y después va el verbo.
Pero que manufacture no es el verbo ahí.
Exacto.
What does manufacture?
Ajá,
Where does manufacture?
¿Y el sujeto dónde está? Porque después de do o de das usted necesita el sujeto, no necesita el verbo.
Where does the Santa Ana plants the manufacture?
No. The first question was correct, the one that Constantino said. Constantino said, where does your company, the company, manufacture? And the answer says, we manufacture in Santa Ana plant. Another option is,
Where do we manufacture?
Good. Where do we manufacture? Where do we manufacture? And then you say, oh, we manufacture in the Santa Ana plant. Imagínense que ustedes son nuevos y ustedes le preguntan a alguien, ¿y a dónde manufacturamos aquí? Y ellos les dicen, no, nosotros manufacturamos en la planta de Santa Ana. So, where do we manufacture? We manufacture in the Santa Ana plant. The other option was, where does your company manufacture? And because you are part of the company, you say, we manufacture in the Santa Ana plant. Last one. Luis, turn on the camera. The camera has to be on during all the class. So, Luis, this question is for you. The answer is Douglas trains the new staff. Douglas trains the new staff. What is the question?
It's for me?
Yes. Douglas trains the new staff. What is the question?
Does Douglas train staff?
No, because if you ask me, does Douglas train the new staff? I can tell you yes, or I can tell you no. But here you don't have yes or no, so your question is not correct. You need to use what, where, who, when, why. Those questions, when you have these questions, in the answer you don't have yes or no, because these are
What does?
information questions. Repeat it.
What does Douglas?
What does Douglas?
Training?
Probably. What does Douglas train? Douglas trains the new staff, maybe. Or because the staff is people, you need to say, Cesar?
What does Douglas do?
Could be. What does Douglas do? Or what does Douglas do? Douglas trains the new staff. What does Douglas do? Because in parentheses, you have the verb that you need to use. What does Douglas and the verb do? What does Douglas do? So Douglas trains the new staff. Yes? Now, what are you going to do? You're going to work in, let me check if you're going to work in pairs or in groups of 3. It all depends on how many you are right now. So you are 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you will work in pairs. You will work in pairs, and one of you is going to work with me. So what are you going to do? You're going to work in pairs, and you're going to ask questions each other. What kind of questions? WH questions. Questions with what, where, who, why, and the rest. For example, let's say that my partner is Nancy. Nancy, where do you live?
I live in San Marcos.
What do you do?
A business administrator.
What time do you get up?
Get up at 5 o'clock.
Why?
5 a.m.
Why do you get up at 4? No, this is the second question. Why do you get up at 4?
Because I have to work.
Good. And where do you work?
I work in Araman. At Araman.
Because it is a company. When do you stay at home?
Repeat, please.
When do you stay at home? When do you stay home?
When do you stay at home? On Sundays and Mondays.
Okay, good. So as you can see, these are called information questions. Estas palabras, estas preguntas son llamadas information question porque lo único que ustedes quieren buscar es información. Entonces por eso preguntan qué, cómo, cuándo, dónde. Y en la respuesta nunca van a tener yes or no. ¿Por qué? Porque lo que le está preguntando es dónde. No si sí o no. Lo que le está preguntando cuándo, cómo, por qué. Yes? Now, what happened if the answer is yes or no? The answer is yes or no when you don't use what, you don't use where, you don't use who. For example, Nancy, do you work on weekends?
Yes, I work on Saturdays.
Good. Do you play tennis?
No, I don't play tennis.
Exactly. No, I don't play tennis. So as you can see, she says, yes, I work on weekends. No, I don't play tennis. Yes. So that is a closed question. Closed question is when you don't have more options. It's yes or no. Do you study? Yes or no. Do you play tennis? Yes or no. Do you live alone? Yes or no. No more options. But when I say, where do you live? Different options. San Martín, Soyapango, Popa, Santa Tecla, Antiguo Cuscatlán, whatever you want. What do you do? I am a doctor, I am a teacher, so you have different options. Yes? So that's why they are called information questions. So what are you going to do? I need you get information from your classmate. As much information as possible. Ask questions. But pay attention to the information because when you finish, you have to give me information about your classmate. So how can you start this kind of questions? Easy. Start with an easy question, yes, no question. And after you have the answer, you can start with WH questions. For example, I'm going to choose another person. Who wants to practice right now? Who wants to practice? No one. Luis. Good, Luis. All right, Luis, activate your microphone. Good, Luis. Do you eat pupusas, Luis?
Yes, I do.
All right, so the answer is yes. I can continue with more questions because if he says no, I don't have more questions. So probably why, it's the only one. But if he says yes, I have the opportunity to ask more questions. So once again, Luis, do you eat pupusas?
Yes, I do eat pupusa. I eat pupusa.
Yes, I eat pupusas. Short answer, yes, I do. Long answer, yes, I eat pupusas. Now, where do you eat pupusas, Luis?
I eat pupusas in my house because my mom have a pupusa.
Good. So good for you because you can eat anytime. Good. What time do you eat pupusas?
Pupusas and 7 p.m.
Good. Who do you eat pupusas with? Who do you eat pupusas with?
I eat pupusa salad with.
No. Who do you eat pupusas with? ¿Con quién?
¿Con quién? Con Sara with. Oh, Sara with.
Oh, with Sara.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I didn't understand Sara with. I thought that you were talking about sauce or another ingredient.
A microphone maybe.
Sorry. I heard that you said Sara with.
No, with Sara.
With Sara, but you were saying Sara with.
No, maybe because varias palabras por el micrófono, tal vez, no sé.
Okay, but it is with Sarah. And with Sarah, yes, I understand that it's a person. Good. Now, when? When do you eat pupusas?
Saturday and Sunday.
So try to give long answers to practice. I eat pupusas on Saturdays and Sundays or on weekends.
I eat pupusas on weekend.
Good. Now, Luis, last question. Why do you eat pupusas and not pizza or something different?
Because they are so delicious.
Good, because they are so delicious. So this is the way that you interview a person. After the person says yes, you can start with different questions. Yes. So from one question, I created probably 5 more questions for Luis. So the same thing you can do. Another person who wants to practice?
Me.
Good, Joshua. So Joshua, do you play soccer?
No, I don't play soccer.
Okay, so here I cannot ask him more questions. Probably I can ask him, why don't you play soccer? Why don't you play soccer, Joshua?
Because I don't have more time.
Good, because I don't have, in that case, I don't have enough time. Enough is
Time, because I not enough time.
I don't have enough
I
time.
don't have enough time.
Good. So as you can see in this example of Joshua, what happened?
Uy, perdón, estoy viendo otro mensaje y me estoy riendo, perdón, sorry.
So in this case, Joshua is saying no. So I cannot ask him more questions.
Lo siento.
No problem. I cannot ask him more questions. And the reason is because he said no. So only one question. Why, Joshua? And Joshua says, because I don't have enough time. But if Joshua says yes, I can ask him, where do you play soccer? When do you play soccer? Who do you play soccer with? What time do you play soccer? How often do you play soccer? Yes. Why do you play soccer and not basketball? So questions like that. So you're going to work in pairs and you're going to interview your classmates. So this is going to be random. Random means al azar. So this is going to be random and I'm going to break out the group. One of you is going to work with me. So let's see. You can enter right now. Enter, guys.
Hello.
You're going to work with me.
Okay.
Because you are alone, so you're the only one that is missing.
No, okay.
So Joshua, you're going to ask me.
Okay. Teacher. And do you like? No. What kind of the music do you like?
I like all kind of music, all kind of music.
Okay. And what is your day off?
When is your day off?
And when is your day off?
Good. My day off is on Sunday.
Okay. What do you prefer do on your free time?
What do you prefer to do? Because you have preferred a verb, do a verb.
To do. Okay. What do you prefer to do on your free time?
In your free time.
In your free time.
Exactly. In my free time, I prefer to watch movies, especially comedy movies.
Okay. And do you practice any sport?
Yes, I practice basketball.
Okay. And where do you practice basketball?
I practice basketball in my neighborhood. They know about it. They know it. I practice basketball in my neighborhood.
Neighborhood. Give me 1 minute that my pencil is fine. Okay.
Yes.
And
I play in my neighborhood, I told you.
yeah.
Another question?
And what kind of food do you hate?
Good question. I hate pacaya.
Pacaya.
Yes, I hate pacaya.
Pacaya. Okay.
No papaya, pacaya.
Pacaya.
Yes, it is a white thing like this. So I don't like it. It is like a vegetable.
Okay. More. How much? How much? How much time do you? No. ¿Cómo podría preguntar cuánto tiempo tiene de enseñar o de ser profesor?
How long have you been a teacher?
How long? How long has been a teacher?
I have been a teacher for about almost 10 years.
Okay. One more. Where do you study English?
Where do you study? Present.
No, in the past, how do you,
Where
do you
did.
where did you study English?
That is a topic for Monday. Where did past. So that is a topic for Monday. But I studied modern languages at the University of El Salvador. So I studied English and French.
Nice. In the university?
Yes.
National?
Yes.
Okay. And why do you how do you say escoger o preferir?
Prefer.
Okay. Why do you prefer? No, es que la pregunta es.
In the past, why did?
What do you prefer study English in no other profession?
Good. I studied English. Well, I didn't study for English exactly because English, I knew English a little bit before I entered university. So I studied that career for French, but not for English. Because English, I know it, but French was new for me. So that's why I selected that language, that career for French, not for English especially, but for French.
Your specialty is French.
French and English, both.
Both. You are teacher for those language.
For the two languages.
For the two languages. Okay.
Good. So now it's my turn. I'm going to ask you. Do you go shopping?
Yes, I go to shopping.
I go shopping. In that case, only the action is go shopping. Either the company go shopping.
I go shopping.
Where do you go shopping?
Usually in the end of the month.
Where? Where do you go shopping?
Where? Usually in the super selectors.
And who do you go with? Who do you go with?
And always, usually, and I go to the supermarket with my wife.
Good. Now, what do you usually buy?
I usually buy the more basic necessities the home. For example, soap, shampoo, and basic grain.
Basic.
For food. Basic break for food.
Good. Good. Last question. How often do you go shopping?
I go shopping for 4 times in the month.
4 times a month. 4 times a month.
4 times a month.
Good.
Yes.
So this is the way that you interact with someone and the way that you ask questions, you answer questions and like that. So you can ask whatever you want using these questions. You can also use yes, no questions like, do you like English? Yes or no? If you say yes, why do you like English? Yes. Where do you study? Why do you study in that academy? Yes. So you can ask any kind of questions that you want to ask. Yes. So we are going to go back to main section.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, teacher.
Luis, you left first. You don't need to. You don't need to push anything. You have to wait. Okay. Good. So I'm going to choose some people just to provide information. Let's see. David, can you give me information about Felix?
Yes. Felix lived with your wife and daughter.
Oh, come on, no. Can you repeat it?
Or it's the information with my partner.
Yes.
Okay.
So Felix
Yes.
lives, exactly, lives
with
with,
wife.
but not with my wife. My wife is
Yeah. Her wife.
her wife,
Yeah.
her wife, or his wife.
His wife and daughter.
Oh,
Yeah.
with his wife and daughter.
Yeah.
Good. Now,
And
Felix, give me information about David.
Okay. Uh, David is like a motorcycle.
David
Uh, David like motorcycle.
likes motorcycles.
Okay. Okay. David like motorcycle and don't drive motorcycle.
Oh,
Your favorite motorcycle is
David likes motorcycles. David likes motorcycles, but he doesn't
sorry,
ride
it
motorcycles.
doesn't right.
Interesting.
Favorite motorcycle is Kawasaki.
Good.
330.
Good. Now, Melvin, can you give me information about your partner?
My partner is Luis.
Good. So give me information about Luis. And Melvin is the last one because of the time. So Melvin?
Luis drives a car.
Luis drives a car.
Drives a car 1 hour at his work.
Oh, Luis drives a car 1 hour to his work.
1 hour?
Good.
Yes.
Good. So what I need you to do, guys, is to remember that you need to use the S when you talk about another person. So you say, Luis drives. Luis maneja. No pueden decir driving. ¿Por qué no driving? Porque dicen driving, está diciendo manejando ahorita. So Luis drives. David eats. David likes. David cooks. David plays. So ocupen la S. Yes? So this is all for today. On Monday, the topic that I was telling you that is important is simple past. So this is just a review about simple present because then simple past is coming. So sometimes students get confused because they don't know how to identify the difference between present and past. So now you know that present is routine. Do you work? It's a routine. Do you play basketball? It's a routine. Where do you work? A routine. So present is for routine, for situations that happen like usually or often in your life. And simple past is for an action that happened in the past, but not in the present. So that will be on Monday. First, we have attendance, so that probably those who join us later can be at the beginning. Let's see, I guess Felix wasn't before. And the other thing is that you need to download the application that I told you, and you need to memorize some verbs. So I will send you the application to the group. So let's start. Felix Ernesto Castellanos.
Present.
Good. Next one. Josué Edmundo Ábalos.
Present.
Good. Carlos Eduardo Barrera is not here. César Santiago Benavides.
Present.
Good. Cristian Armando Cardona. Cristian Armando Cardona.
Present.
Good, Christian. Herman is from Insaforp. Adolfo Alberto Castro.
Present.
Good. Cecilia Guadalupe Castro.
Present.
Good. Nancy Yasmin Claudia.
Present.
Good. David Ricardo de León. David Ricardo de León.
Teacher present.
Next one. Luis Antonio Dominguez.
Present, teacher.
Good, Luis. Carolina Flores is not here. Let's see. Hugo Ernesto Fonseca.
Present, teacher.
Good. Melvin Jonathan Gallardo.
Present, teacher.
Oscar Armando Gómez.
Present, teacher.
Constantino Guardado.
Present.
Good. So Flor is from Insaforp. Raúl Alfredo Quintanilla is not here. So those are the students who were in class today. Now, homework for this weekend or long weekend that you have. You don't have homework to have on Schoology because that will be next week. But your homework is to memorize verbs in the present and in the past. Which verbs? I will tell you the application. The application is called irregular verbs. I will send you the application to the group. So you will hear the pronunciation in the present and the pronunciation in the past. Yes, they are irregular verbs. Les voy a mandar esa aplicación al grupo para que la descarguen. Se llama verbos irregulares. Ahí tienen la lista de verbos en el presente y a la par la lista de verbos en el pasado. Y tienen más después, casi al final, la lista de verbos en el pasado participio. El pasado participio no se lo tienen que aprender ahorita porque eso lo van a ver en el Principiante 5. Entonces ahorita se van a quedar con el pasado. Entonces solo se aprenden el presente y el pasado. ¿Por qué? Porque el lunes vamos a iniciar con el Simple Past. Y para iniciar con el Simple Past, si ustedes ya se pueden los verbos o si ustedes ya se pueden algunos verbos, se va a hacer 100,000 veces más fácil que ustedes comprendan el tema y que logren dar una respuesta. Porque si les hago una pregunta en el pasado y usted me va a dar una respuesta en el presente, no va a encajar. Entonces, si por lo menos ya se puede algunos verbos, yo le puedo hacer preguntas y usted me va a poder responder con esos verbos que ya se aprendió. ¿Sí? Entonces, por eso me urge que estos días, mañana, jueves, viernes, sábado y domingo, ustedes practiquen con esos verbos. Yo les voy a ir diciendo a diario cuántos se tienen que ir aprendiendo y el lunes vamos a ver si de verdad se los aprendieron. Así que...
Y para presentación, perdón.
¿Cómo?
Para la presentación, ¿cuándo sería, perdón?
Presentación.
Ajá, de
No,
la tarea.
no, ahorita no hay presentación. Solamente
Solamente serían los de verbo. Okay.
Solamente
Pues,
son los verbos, exacto. Solamente son los verbos que tienen que aprender porque los van a ocupar el lunes. El lunes sí los van a ocupar. Y el lunes sí necesito que estén súper descansados, lo que más quieran, porque muchas veces este tema es un poco pesadito. Entonces, si vienen descansados, se les va a hacer, obviamente van a venir de trabajar, ¿verdad? Pero como va a ser lunes, a lo mejor van a venir descansados del sábado. Entonces, no trabajen mucho el fin de semana, descansen un poco, pero solamente estudien y que el lunes puedan venir con la mente un poquito más abierta para que capten rápido, ¿verdad? Y traten de estar a la hora, para que si yo ya comencé y ustedes se unen, no vayan a estar perdidos, ¿verdad? Entonces traten de estar a la hora. So, that's all for now, guys. Thank you for being there. I see you all on Monday. Have a nice weekend. Good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
You too.